What's up, guys? Welcome to TCG University Final Fantasy Chapter. I am your lovely host, Noah, joined here by
Byron
and
Travis TNT Tanjamin.
Wrong name. And
what's up, homies? Zeth's back at it again with the fellow homies.
we're all together here in person, so you don't have to hear my stupid robotic voice over the mic. Thank God.
Beep bop boop beep.
We survived the apocalyptic wasteland.
It's so terrible.
We're talking into the wasteland like it's Fallout.
Yeah.
All right, before we get started, we got our usual housekeeping. We would like to have you guys, or thank you guys for showing support. You can always go ahead and check us out by liking us on Facebook, subbing at YouTube, enrolling at Patreon, and watching us on Twitch. Not Travis, though he's bad. We're also available on iTunes. Ooh, no, we're good. iTunes, SoundCloud, Spotify. Go rate us 5 stars. Also, if you have any other streaming services or podcast services or anything like that you would like us to be on, go ahead and leave a comment down in the video or talk to any of us. We're kind of open channels to talk to, except for this guy. Yeah, I'm going to pick fun of you all day long. Now we get to the fun part where I try to list names horribly. We have our junior and higher sponsors. We have Addy, Andrew Dang, Anthony Albano, Bryce Rathsack, Clay Cardwell, Jacob Arshin Monsieur, Jay Rogers, Jesse Cervini, Jesse Morrison, Jesse Nix, Justin Farst, Kat Maria, Kevin Broberg, Kieran Vision, Kyle Zath, go.
Krozik.
Thank you. Lucinda Letica. I don't know why I can't do that. Orlando Valdez Santos, Paul Casagrande, Ransom MacArthur, Samantha Stevens, the baddest bitch around, Sean O'Brien, Timothy. Is that
Friedlib?
Friedlib. Okay. Is there 2 L's?
Do you not know Tim?
Do you not know Tim?
No, there's
How dare you?
2.
How
I can't
dare
tell how
you.
many L's there are. That
Friedlieb.
Yeah.
whatever.
1 L.
You guys got me.
Yep.
Okay, there's literally
Eyes. I. Not L.
Tamers Evolution TCG and Tyler's and Peace. Thank you guys for watching the content, giving us likes, sharing us if you are. Hope you enjoy this podcast as well. We'd also like to thank our sponsors, Red Riot Games, Cards Custom Build, Ink Gaming, and Dex Protection. Hey, look, I got through almost all of that without messing up, but we still messed up.
And
You're out of practice.
if you guys want to watch some random content that isn't just card game stuff, you can also go check out my Twitch at twitch.tv/ohmrmatsu and
Sorry,
my YouTube
happened?
at youtube.com/ohmrmatsu.
All right, sorry. You can go ahead and say it. We won't mess with you. Please say it again.
Yeah, say it
Okay.
again, you're good.
So if you guys want to watch some content that is not card game related, like some Teamfight Tactics or League of Legends or various other things, you can watch me at twitch.tv/ohmrmatsu. I am currently 14 followers from affiliate, and you can also watch me on YouTube at youtube.com/ohmrmatsu. Same name.
But you're not at affiliate, so
Correct.
get good.
So, gentlemen, I come bearing information.
Yeah.
A fantastic gift, if you will. The Opus 13, Final Fantasy 14, Shadowbringers 2 deck set has dropped. And
Keep going.
it is
A spicy one.
no, it is very like I've played both decks not only at the event but also like outside of the event. And this 2-player starter set, fantastic. If you're looking to get into the game, and that's what I've always really enjoyed about Final Fantasy, is it really didn't, like, after, like, Opus 7, if you start in the game, you're actually not that far behind.
True.
Like, even though L3 really isn't, like, a popular format,
All the
hear me
cringe
out,
around.
hear me out. As long as you collect from the 3 most recent sets, you can make a majority of these decks. Now, thankfully, it isn't suffering the Magic the Gathering problem where 80 to 90% of my deck is literally the recent set. Like, it still takes some cards from, like, Opus 1, Opus 3, from
Yeah,
some of the other
absolutely.
ones.
I look for tech stuff and abusable things outside of, like, the main 3 opuses all the time.
But, like, if I'm a brand new player and I got, like, this starter deck, this starter deck set, and then I went and I fiddled with either one deck or the other deck, you'd have an actually competent deck.
Yeah, I mean, you're like, just with the contents of, honestly, the Fire Ice deck, you are well on your way to having, like, a viable deck to play at locals and stuff like that.
Yeah.
For sure.
Because, like, all the like, the new stars they introduced in it, like, we have the 3-drop Element Selch, which when you play them, you pay, it's 4 generic CP, right?
Yeah.
So I can get rid of 2 cards in my hand. I search my deck for an ice backup of 4 costs or less, and it comes to the field.
Yep.
I mean,
right?
honestly, I think that's super good because if
It's
you just
so
don't
good.
have the backup you were looking for, you play him and Selch and you get
Well, and it opens up the outlets, right? So like,
So many
like,
possibilities.
if you do, like, you could be like super bland and grab Ideolus and then grab your ice character. You basically got a 2-cost backup. Or you also, some people have got like expanded their horizon. Some people say go grab Snow if you're doing kind of like an aggressive build.
Man, that's like
him and Selch and Wardo.
man, that's so cool because you can play like Snow as a one of, and if you're like trying to go in on a kill turn, you're just like, okay, I'll play Emmett.
go
Selch
fish
and
Snow.
Yeah, go grab my
Or like
Snow
you
and then
said, go
kill
grab
you.
Eduardo.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
also
the
works.
one off Eduardo, and just go to sleep.
Yep.
Yeah.
Everybody
And then
chill.
it also grabs a 4-cost Setzer,
Yeah,
which lets you pick up category 6 forward.
Grab
and
Flock.
yeah, no. People have said that is probably where Ice is going to start advancing forward. Is you grab the 4-cost Opus 9 lock and you declare backup, you've guaranteed yourself 2 backups.
Yep.
And
That's
for,
a really
for
powerful
Ice, that's
interaction.
fantastic.
Yeah.
That's an extremely.
And then you play Artemisian, and then you play Crystal Exarch, and you go in. No, I'm just kidding.
And
Hey, man.
then also it has, and like the fact that the deck's actually decently designed to play Titania because it gives you flans.
Yeah.
And because the deck's more playing toward like Titania's requirement, having a monster and a forward and a backup and a summon.
she's
in
a
your
very
break.
powerful card
Yeah.
too.
It gives you the Opus 4 Ifrits. Also, I mean the 4-cost Opus 7 Ifrits, which I mean it's serviceable. It's a starter deck. It gives you a bit of removal, and it's the summon requirement. But the fact that she can like dull freeze 2 characters, you just spam Phoenix with her.
Yes.
And
it's such a powerful
it's really good.
interaction.
And I actually talked with some friends of mine on the Discord, and like we're hoping to eventually get to a deck where it's all just synergies instead of just like straight good cards like Kryl and Locke and Althea. Like eventually getting a deck that's just synergies,
Yeah.
right?
That's gonna like. I feel like that's gonna expand Final Fantasy as a card game because like right now it does feel like it's kind of like there's a lot of different mechanisms, I guess, going on in one deck that's not really sometimes cohesive. Which like with the way that you're talking right now, it definitely feels like it's something that could, like you're saying, it's going to synergize throughout the whole deck,
Right.
which is really cool.
Yeah. Hey, Travis, do you remember Delirium when that was a thing in Shadows of Innistrad, where if I have a different 4 types of different cards, Titania is what that's reminding me of right now.
Yeah,
right?
for sure.
And there's actually someone made a really spicy list. You remember Don Corneo, the Opus 10 starter that you mill cards?
Yeah.
There's an aggressive ice build that I saw. The idea is you get Don Corneo out and you bash 7 cards out of your break zone to break a dull forward, and then you can start playing your Titanias from your hand because you have your monster, your backup, your summon, and your forward, and your break zone already because of Don Corneo.
Yep.
And it's from a 2-cost. And, if you want to, like, splash in Phoenix for that also, you have this, like, really interesting, like, low-to-the-ground 2-cost deck. And, like, we're having a dredge deck, I say with air quotes, in Final Fantasy. And like you mentioned, we're expanding in different territory.
I mean, honestly, the way I see Phoenix is honestly almost as powerful, if not more powerful, than Dread Return is. Like, for those who don't know, Dread Return is a legacy magic card that says it has a flashback for a cost of sacking 3 dudes.
Yep.
And it says you can reanimate a dude from your graveyard and bring it back onto your board. Phoenix, you just pay
it
for
gives you a
CP.
small sweep.
Yeah, it gives you a small sweep. You pay for it, and you res a 2-drop. As it turns out, 2-drops are really, really good right now. So you should be abusing the heck out of that card for sure.
Especially since like removal from break zone effects have actually kind of went on the back foot a little bit.
Correct.
Because everybody's trying to stop the turn 1 Tenzin, the turn 1 X Death.
Yep.
The turn 1 because there's a lot of like really big just like fat bombs that are coming out. So we've had to backpedal on Mist Dragon because Mist Dragon likes a mid-range environment.
Yeah.
Right? If we're both going to go to the long game, Mist Dragon's fantastic there. Mist Dragon is not going to stop an X Death.
Absolutely.
So we've had to cycle into Alexanders, Fenrir's, and those cards that handle X Death, or in the case of Alexander, Tenzin.
Yep.
So until we get out of this like modern format is the best way I can describe it. That's probably where we're going to be at, where we're not going to be seeing Phoenix like all too much. But once we start getting into like when we get like more mid-range decks and more grind fests,
Yeah.
Phoenix is going to come back.
Oh, absolutely.
How long do you think we get to a grind fest?
I'd say 2 Opuses. I'd say would probably be enough time to
decide to, like,
to
start slowing
determine.
it
All right,
down.
let's slow it down.
It also depends on like what else we're getting in this next opus because we haven't seen everything yet.
No, exactly.
Yeah.
So some of the other starter cards. All right, so Philia, it's an 8-drop 10k. So first off, it has this thing where if it takes damage from an ability, it's 0 instead. So it's the Minwu effect.
Yeah.
Right. When you play it, you 10k all forwards, and then you take a point of damage. Now here's the cool part: you play him with.
God, that card looks so.
I know it
fucking
looked
cool.
like imagine getting him as a foil. You know how baller that'd be. Like the foil tongue and everything.
Yep.
So anyway, you play him with the 3-drop Warrior of Light from Opus 10.
Mm-hmm.
You take no damage that turn. You play him with the 4-cost Gabrant that becomes a 1-cost on damage 5. So for 9 CP, you have a Fire Shantoto along with your Earth Shantoto. So I could see like an Earth Fire control list that goes for like Marsh Ritz and uses that extra CP that it generates. If I'm not going to Amaterasu you that turn, then I can go with Philia if I've lost Ritz. Because, I mean, I don't want to use Marsh anymore because Marsh already did his job. So Philia comes down, and if I just trade Marsh for your board and I take a point of damage and I get a Searcher off of it, like a Branth,
Put you at
fantastic.
3.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly.
Now
And-
my Ritz is unblockable.
yeah, and then
Do.
you're now successfully able to go into mid game. And when you're playing the Gabrant that becomes a 1-cost, you have more Gabrants to sentence.
Yep.
Instead of just the 3 that you now have Gabrants 4 and 5 to continue to sentence with.
Yeah.
Along with your Kustis, and you have this Earth Fire list that has like 27, 28 bursts, and then you just pick up and do it again.
Yeah.
Right?
Something else I thought of was that with Kuja in a very heavy EX burst shell.
Oh, so like a Fire Lightning.
Yeah, something along those lines. Maybe 3-color.
14 does have a lot of lightning and fire cards.
Yeah.
And it gives you some. Now we don't have a backup that searches fire forwards yet, unfortunately,
Yeah.
but it's something to look forward to. It'd be sweet if it was a 14 backup.
Wait,
that did
this
it.
is what's XIV again?
It was me.
It was Final Fantasy 14 with
14?
like the Scions and everything else like that.
Doesn't if you play 3-color, the ice dude, right? The 3-drop ice dude that says if you pay 3 or more colors, you can search a
Oh,
card.
that guy.
Yeah, if you're playing 3 colors,
I
you
mean,
can...
Meath searched it, and I'm actually going to bring up Meath in a moment because
Yeah.
Ranjit, that's also in the same deck. Oh my god. Mwah. Mwah. Chef's kiss. No, when I look for an efficient fire forward, when you guys saw me like losing my mind about having a 4-cost Rubicante,
Yeah.
this guy costs 1 less for every backup that you play. On top of it, when you play him, choose a forward, it deals 8,000 points of damage. So you have an 8k for 4 on 4 backups that kills a guy, and you have an 8k blocker.
Oh,
Also, again, card art, sick as fuck.
Oh yeah, no, and the fact that
God, I love
God,
card art.
if this card in foil...
Oh yeah.
Oh!
And no, and just like the other thing too is like if you play Vernoa with him, you get to 8k
Yeah.
something. And some people even talk about with Philia and with Ranjit, if you play Verstale, like the Lightning Verstale list that's going around, it's like a 5-color list that's based around the Opus 11 Verstale. It lets you top 5.
Yeah.
And you
Would
get
love a
3.
five-color list?
I love 5 color. I love 4 and 5 colors right now.
Yeah,
it's
because
so consistent.
You play the 5-cost Verstale, and then you reel top 5, and you get 3 5-cost characters to your hand. Get him and get Ranjit and whatever 5-cost card you want. And then if you play Renault on top of him, you've drawn 6 cards.
Yeah.
And you've paid 4 because you use Star Sybil to pop him out.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Like
Quite good.
like
Man.
the fire ice cards are fire in this starter set.
Yep.
For lack of a better term.
Yeah.
Fire.
Yeah, you can go ahead and keep going. I already talked about Emmett Selch. We've mentioned a little bit about Titania. Do you guys have any thoughts on the ones that I brought up so far? We
Exarch.
can get to them in a moment.
So-
They're Scions. They can wait.
I think Titania might be so oppressive that it gets banned, honestly.
Because he's a Pixie King, dude. Is that
Like
the first of the Pixie Kings?
Yeah, it is the only Pixie we have. Which, by the way, gender neutral term.
yeah.
No,
That is-
Fae is neutral.
That is true.
Oh, guess we got to get to God too, because I have
Yeah,
a
we
few
can
things I wanna talk
cover.
about
Yeah.
God.
So-
Oh yeah, we can cover them too.
Yeah, so I think Titania might actually get banned because it's too oppressive because of the
We can
interaction.
stop at Golbez. We haven't talked about him yet.
Yeah, because of the interaction
one's so
with
big.
stuff like Emmett Selch, with
Yeah.
stuff like Phoenix, I think it could very easily see a ban or at least a hit of some kind. Because
Like an errata.
yeah, Dole Freeze 2 for free with like no real actual cost on a 2-drop 8K, not balanced. Hard not balanced.
Right, and it trades up into 10Ks because if you use
Exactly.
Phoenix for it.
Yep.
I don't think it could get banned.
I think it could.
I don't think it's...
We've talked about Rubicante.
I think it's a really
It's
good
not for
card.
him.
Don't get me wrong, but I think like even
There we
still
go.
like having that cost of you had to have one of each type.
Yeah, he can
in
only
your-
play two
But
of
it's
them.
not a cost
3
because
if include
You can
Cat.
just Phoenix it from your break
You're
zone
right. So then
for
maybe
free.
in this case they'll look at a Phoenix instead of
No,
Titania.
no. So the reason why they look at Titania is because all they have to do is change one line of text on that card. This card cannot be played from anywhere unless you have this specific requirement. That's all they have to do.
When have they eroded cards in Final Fantasy?
Yeah, Death Machine.
Yeah.
Was that the only one?
Death Machine was eroded. We also had King of Burmecia that was
We definitely
eroded.
talked about this a while ago, but
Did we?
it was a while ago.
It was a long
It
while.
was like
ago.
last year.
Oh man.
Yeah, King of
Last year.
So far, King of Burmecia has been eroded to only search for Dragoon forwards.
Yeah.
And Death Machine was eroded. And those are the two that I can think of off of the top. Oh, Suzukiza was also eroded to say only once per turn because people found that he created an infinite loop by himself because there were certain rules interactions
that's right.
Yeah.
that it would cause you to draw like 4 or 6 cards, and next thing you know you're kind of in this weird loop. So they had to do some cleanup text on it to prevent you from like accidentally decking yourself.
Yeah, which like that's all they would have to do with this card.
Yeah.
But it definitely needs to see some kind of
Can only
nerf.
be played if you have these
Yeah,
requirements. because
only
if
be
not,
played
then-
from anywhere.
Yeah.
Right.
Like I think there's
Well,
another
yeah.
card.
So we would change cast to play then because there is a difference in this game.
Yeah. Yeah, you can only play Titania if you have X requirements. That fixes the card because otherwise, I want you to imagine a world where your opponent sits on Une or Renoa and this card, and they lock down your backups the entire game. You don't get a play.
We already have that with Ultimisia and Renoa.
That is true, but Ultimisia costs 6.
So changing it from cast to play, then that means it always has to be from your.
I
hand.
think she's fine. I don't really see any problems with her because first of all, we have to make sure we have Phoenix, right? So we're already having to have like a summon searcher to ensure that we have Phoenix.
Moody.
Which, to be fair, isn't hard.
Well, I mean, there's Moody, there's Rydia.
Yeah.
we have our searchers.
There's so many searchers for
There's
summons.
so many searchers for fire
There's
summons.
Saz. There's Saz also.
Yeah.
You
that
could
does it.
could honestly just wait until you build up to like 4 or 5, and then Vermilion Bird.
And then once you have it on board, okay, it died because I traded up into you.
I'll just play it again.
I'll get
Yeah.
it back with Regis.
Or
Okay.
what would be even funnier is like if you X Death this with the 6-drop X Death,
Yeah.
he can snag it too.
Yeah. Like this card is just way too abusable, I think.
I
For
think it's
what it
fine.
does.
I agree with
Like
Seth.
we have lock, dude, and people have already been doing. People have locked people out, mid game. Like I don't like.
Okay, but lock
Ratsu poops on it, dude.
that's
like-
okay, that's fine, but don't use the argument of X card, X silver bullet poops on this card. That doesn't mean it's not broken.
It's strong. It's not broken.
I can see it getting eroded at the most. I don't think it'll ever get banned.
Fair.
That yes, I just think something needs to be done with this card because being able to lock down 2 things just for free off of Phoenix, off of
Well, I mainly want to target forwards with this.
that's fine, but doing this early game is backbreaking.
Yeah, kind of like
Hey, skip a turn, nerd.
Well,
it's the same as like playing FF7 Earth Ice
Yeah.
with Yazoo and Kadaj.
Yeah, but that's more setup.
I mean, it's
well,
a
not only
2-card
that,
setup.
not only that, but it's all like I do see her for like an aggressive tempo list. That would be really strong.
Yeah.
This is
just
a
like
2-card setup.
Kadaj and Yazoo.
Like-
she's basically a remnant. That's the way I see it.
I can already tell you in the deck that I was just playing against you with, I'm putting this card in the deck 100%.
Sure.
And it is
Do it.
way too abusable.
Well,
Like I can easily trigger this card 2 to 3 times in one turn.
Sure.
Go into major. Oh wait.
There is none.
So no, all I was thinking is like, can we finish with the starter cards and then we can double back? All right, now we're getting into
The cursed.
The Scions.
The cursed.
This is the Scion list. All right, so we have Crystal Exarch. The beginning of the attack phase. So either your phase or your opponent's attack phase. You had to give a guy 2K. Doesn't matter who it is. It could be any guy.
I think that's kind of cool.
Give it to your opponent's guy. Give it to your guy.
Give it to your opponent's guy, and then Diabolos.
Yeah. Oh, that's actually pretty funny.
You're welcome.
That is actually pretty funny. What the?
Wow, I can't block this, but yeah,
You kill
2K
it.
for free. Diabolos.
All right, so damage 5. He gains the effect when he attacks. Choose a forward. If its power is less than his, break it. So, all right, during the starter decks, it's decent removal.
I think it's a generically good Earth card.
He's okay.
He's fine. I wouldn't say
fine.
good.
He's fine.
I'd say fine.
He's fine.
Playable.
Yeah. Oh, all right.
let's not go that far then. Well, we gotta tackle the pig that is more Y'shtola, because there's never enough.
Stop. There's 7 Y'shtolas now. We don't need 7 Y'shtolas.
No.
We really don't.
We
Y'shtola
really
cannot
don't.
be chosen by your opponent's summons. When Y'shtola enters the field, choose a forward in your break zone. If its cost is equal to or less than the number of job scions of the 7th Dawn you control, play it onto the field.
It's Orianger on steroids.
Yes.
That's literally all they did here.
It's
They
6 cost 8K.
they stapled 3 Oriangers together.
It's so
Put 'em in a
lazy.
coat.
Yeah, see, she's wearing the trench coat right now. Like, look at it. It's 3 Oriangers. They just put a female Mioti head on top of her. Whatever the cat race is in
Makote,
14.
yeah.
Makote, yeah. No, Makote.
Yeah.
Makote the trench coat.
Yep.
So,
My
but,
coat.
But no, like I can't stand this card because this shows that like when you have a hit like Titania or Orianger, that's a fantastic card. Then you have a miss. This is I can't. Don't get me wrong. I love Y'shtola. I love these Y'shtolas that they've released up to this point. This one's a miss.
Yeah, this is
Because
definitely,
once again, it requires you having Scions. But Zeth, this means that I can build Scions and it can actually get me through Swiss and into tops and actually win tops. Sure, bud. Go ahead and spend 6 on your ghetto, uber-sized, get Rotsu.
yeah.
Whatever. Now, an actual good Scion. So, you guys remember Noctis from Opus 8? Yeah. Well, we have it for 14 now. When he enters the field, reveal the top 2. Add a category 14 character among them to your hand and return the others to the bottom of your deck in any order.
That's yeah.
Yeah, no, like this, like the fact that he works with 14, like
It's not just
like,
Scions.
Yeah, no,
God,
thank
if it
you,
was
thank you. That the
Scions,
fact that it's not Scions. If it was Scions, I actually probably would have just puked all over the floor and just gave up, right? But he's an EX just like Noctis.
No.
He guarantees that you get a 14 card because there's so many 14 cards now. Like there's cards in fire, there's cards in lightning, there's cards in earth,
God, it's
ice,
so
wind.
Cards in your grandma's panties.
Yeah, like dude, like you can like
Basically.
like World's
God.
Oyster for however you want to build 14, dude.
Yeah.
And the best part is that it's an Orianger that I'm actually okay stomaching in Scions.
Yeah.
Because the 2-cost Orianger from Opus 5 starter, the 2K lets you grab a monster, is terrible for
Or the one
Scions.
that plays one.
Well, you only play him to get Layak,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually,
Yeah.
dog.
and he's a 2K.
Yeah.
Oh, we hit another one.
Someone else read him. I can't do it.
Thancred. When a job Scion on the 7th Dawn, other than Thancred, enters your field until the end of the turn, Thancred gains 2K power, haste, and break. Why? What's the point when you just play Alice? Or is it Alphanod that gives them that?
It's Alice.
Yeah, why not just play Alice and call it a day?
And then look at that action, that special ability.
Blazing Zone. I mean, the art's cool, but Blazing Zone.
Blast Zone.
Oh, no, Blasting, sorry.
Blasting zone because
Blasting
it's
zone.
it's Squall's one of Squall's
Yeah.
abilities.
Yeah.
Choose a forward,
'Cause
deal
he has a
damage equal to
gunblade.
Thancred's
Yep.
power. Oh, I get to snipe something for 8.
So
Although-
yeah,
or I
you get to
guess 10.
you get to Titan.
Yes.
You literally get to Titan. But no, this is amazing art, right? You
Wasted.
Yeah, you put
Actually
like,
wasted.
Look at the
like
the shadow, dude.
like I would have actually liked Thancred if he actually had good abilities. Like when they released the art, everyone's like, "Oh, he's gonna have a cool ability, right?" Because
No.
this is Gunbreaker Thancred.
No.
Like the only real good Thancred they've had is the 7-drop one so far.
I want
and
you
the
to-
backup.
I want you to imagine they actually put thought, like a lot of thought, into designing this card, and made it like the promo Squall.
Mm-hmm.
the 3-drop one that's damage 3/5.
Yeah, and he has like abilities that like work with scions.
Exactly.
Right?
That would have been fantastic design. I would have loved it. It would have given them some late game scaling, some early game pressure. Like, this card is just not good.
So what I think would have been cool here is like a Thancred that would have said like damage 3. It lets you search for a scion.
Yeah.
It's like cost 3. Like give it like a because then it lets you get like Papalimo.
Yeah.
Which then lets you get into Yida. Mm-hmm. And then like damage 5. Have it to where he deals damage to power, and then he lets you search for like any scion.
Yeah.
Right. Mm-hmm. And that way he removes a guy. That way he actually gets you some advantage. Right now he's a black belt.
Yeah.
He's a French vanilla black belt that sometimes now it's
French vanilla.
Like I'm glad that he says job scion instead of just forward, because if it was just forward he'd be terrible. Now in the starter decks he's actually a problem.
Yeah.
I will say that when I almost got soloed by him until I managed to get Innocence down. And Innocence kind of smoked him.
Yep. Innocence certainly does smoke him.
Also, Philia is a good out against him.
Yep.
Philly's a good out for a lot of things.
So far we've had 2 misses, and they're both in the Scions deck.
Of course. Yeah. Not surprising.
All right. Innocence. All right. So I like the design of this card.
I think this card's okay.
This card has sweet
Right.
design.
I'm gonna go in this. I'm biased. I think this card's super fucking cool.
Oh yeah.
It might not be the best card in the world.
No, it's
but
not.
This card's super fucking cool.
I
It just
like.
sounds cool.
This is interesting design space. Like
Yeah.
like we mentioned that dredge idea. Like throwing one of these in the break, especially like it at like summon speed. If you could find a way to pitch it into there.
Yep.
The big brain play during the event was you draw to 6 cards. And you
then
discard it down to hand size.
Innocence to hand. It's
the-
actually just the dredge play when you whiff your faithless looting.
Yup.
You just, okay, I'll draw to hand size. Okay, I'll pitch this Gristlebrand. Next turn, I'll reanimate it.
Yeah.
Like-
So you gotta wait a little bit. But you know what? It's okay.
No.
But yeah, you can either choose
funny.
to do something 10k, or you can make them discard 2 cards.
I think the second ability, honestly,
The
both
second
abilities
ability
are
you can only use
good.
once per turn. The top
Correct.
ability you can use as much
many
as you want,
times you want.
as long as you can keep restanding her.
Correct. And with it having brave, like you can attack and do it, which that's-
works with Althea.
Yeah, it gives pseudo brave.
Yep.
Or you can just 10k something twice.
Yep.
It's solid.
I like that they're keeping the power level pretty good, pretty even throughout all like
That's a
4
nice game.
CPs.
I mean, yeah, we're seeing the effects of Gadage,
Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I honestly, like, with these past few sets, the power levels have been relatively even. I love that we're getting to that point where we're plateauing kind of, so like everything is relatively the same. And when I see new cards, initially I'm like, oh shit, this is busted, and then I'm like, yeah, it's about the same power level as what we have now.
Yep.
So overall, fantastic card, good art. That's gonna look good in foil. We're gonna be saying that a lot. I feel like.
Yeah.
All right,
Just good
This
art.
one's really cool too.
finally, a card that actually is good for Scions.
This card's crazy.
Right.
So first line of text, boring. All right, cool, whatever. So when it goes to the break zone, you can root from the game. When you do, choose any job of the Scion of the 7th Dawn, and he comes into play to all. So that means your backups. It means your forwards. And what's even cooler is if you're able to do it like during your opponent's turn, and like you're able to like barf out like the 6 cost Yustola, and then you get like Urianger off of her, and it's like it's like Captain of the Watch. See, like that's where I think Scions really needs to go. Also, is like it needs Scions that like say, hey, go grab a Scion, and then if you have this particular Scion, play it.
Honestly, so there are 2 lines of play I can think of with this card. First, yeah, you can play it on Scions, whatever. I think this card existing, by the way, makes the 6-drop Y'shtola we looked at a lot more playable.
Oh yeah,
Because you just res Y'shtola, get back another thing, yada, yada, yada. The other line you can actually take with this card is you can play it in Water X decks with Thancred.
yeah. She reses the Water Lightning Thancred.
Yep.
During and like this makes Fanfrit so much more viable because
Yep.
during combat you barf out Thancred, and then Thancred barfs out another forward,
Yep.
and then it barfs out another forward.
Yep.
You don't have to rely on Lunafreya as much.
Not only
As you
Lunafreya,
get.
but also you don't have to hardcast Thancred.
Yep.
And,
Which is, when Thancred's not being hardcasted, infinitely better.
yeah, because what
Yeah, I'd
people
rather pay 3 to make my opponent pay 3 to
what people
to
were
stop
doing
me.
prior is they were using Lena,
Yeah.
which I mean that's fine. There's nothing wrong with Lena. This
Yeah.
just fits with Thancred and it makes him a 10k.
Yep.
So I like her. This is a well-designed card.
Then we gotta go
For
up
sure.
to Golbez.
Yep. So those were the starters. Overall, fantastic starter decks. I say buy 2 of them. If you're able to find
absolutely.
2.
This is 100% worth just because there's Sephiroth in this deck, right?
No,
Or-
that's,
that's
the
that's the
boss decks,
boss
which are
deck.
going to be coming out in March.
Okay.
Man, that's so exciting.
Yeah, I'm
March.
That's so hype. So I was talking about this
really
earlier.
like
Is
it.
Renoa also in the boss
Boss
deck?
I believe she might be.
What'd you say?
The
Renoa
Opus
and the
6
boss decks.
Renoa?
Yes, the blinky one.
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah. Which is gonna.
That is such good value.
Yes. Absolutely.
The thing you just have to be careful of is like for like a third party retailers just buying and cannibalizing them.
Oh, yeah.
Before you actually get to buy the product.
Scalpers. God, that stuff's
So-
happening so much these days.
Well, yeah, because everybody's getting their stimmy checks and nobody wants to leave their house.
All right, so Golbez.
Golbez, 5 cost, Lightning Wind.
EX, by the way.
EX burst. Yes, when Golbez enters the field, you may search for 1 card of cost 2, add it to your hand.
So I want you to stop right there. Read that line of text again.
When Golbez enters the field, you may search for 1 card of cost 2 and add it to
All
your
right, I want you to go ahead and read that again. Do you see? Do you see that nice little line of text there that says cost 2?
Yep. Yeah.
Doesn't matter if it's a Ford.
Nope.
Doesn't matter if it's a summon.
I was actually
Doesn't
getting
matter
on
if
that
it's a
one.
monster. Doesn't matter if it's a backup.
Anything.
Cost 2.
Yeah, cost 2.
Any card of cost 2.
Everything.
Yeah.
Damage 6. When he enters the field, you may search for up to 3 cards of cost 2, add them to your hand. Then you may play any number of Job Archfiend from your hand onto the field.
Yeah, you don't really care about that
Yeah,
one. That's,
nope.
that's a meme.
That is a
Don't,
meme.
but, like,
That's a meme.
I was looking at it and like, so the Archfiends you get one of either of the Rubicantes, Barbaricias, Scarmigliones, or Cagnazia.
Well, technically, after the
yeah,
set, there are 3
Cagnazia.
Rubicantes, right?
Yeah.
You get yeah, but you only get one
Yeah.
of each of those guys because there's
Yeah.
But they're all kind of poopy.
Yeah. No one cares
Like,
What
about
do you
that.
mean,
like, it's a meme.
in all fairness, if you're at damage 6 it says?
Yeah.
Yeah, if you're at damage 6, you'll play that Rubicante. No reason not to.
Well, you see, like, here's the thing, though,
Then
right?
you play with that Barbaricia.
So if this was like some
Then
kind of
you
like
play that Scar.
if this was like some kind of like Exodia strategy where like you got to deal like 5 points of damage to your opponent, I would so do it.
Yeah. But it's
Cagnazia
not,
cannot block
and it never
or
will
torment
be.
a party when he blocks.
Yeah, no,
the
Opus 2
Dolrum.
Cag's
If he's
awful.
dull, he cannot receive damage. So
So,
we play Opus 3.
I'd just like to say that this card searches all 3 Sin Hunters at once.
That's funny.
Yeah.
That's
And
funny.
he's under the
He's
Lightning
Lightning
Wind.
Wind. He's Lightning Wind.
So-
Also, I'm going to play this in the deck that I was just talking about
Uh-huh.
with Titania because it searches Titania so I could pitch the Titania to res it.
But yeah, I like that you brought up the Sin Hunters idea because I could see a really fast Lightning Wind Sin Hunters deck.
Yep.
What?
It's just really funny when you sit there and you're like, hey, I'm gonna what is this? A 5 cost? Sure, I'll pay 5. And then somehow you end up taking another turn and you play the Sin Hunters after picking them up. And you give the X haste and you just like eat it.
Hey, you guys want to know the best Archfiend out there? 4 cost Bart's Opus 1. He's an Archfiend. You want a free AK? Here you go.
That is a free AK.
Is it good? No.
No,
But
God,
it's
no.
fair.
Moving on.
Oh,
So
man,
we've
these
got
ones.
Materia
I love
and
these.
Spiritus.
I love this design space so
I don't
much.
like them.
I feel like they're traps unless you play Cosmos and Chaos as well.
So basically, they both do the same thing. So like Materia lets you search a light forward of cost X. Spiritus lets you search a dark forward of cost X.
When the light forward leaves, you draw a card. When
Yep.
the dark forward leaves,
You remove a forward
something
from the game.
Yep.
Here's the problem. Here's the problem I have with these cards, right? So everyone's like, oh, cool, Spiritus, Torrent, X-Death, right? For 1 water CP, I say, I blank Spiritus. Put both Neo X-Death and Spiritus in your break zone.
Yep.
That is true. Although, honestly, I feel like that card's just so niche that it shouldn't matter. Like, that card just doesn't see play.
Even
saw
with
play in the Earth, Water, Aggro, X-Death list.
The issue I have is that if you get rid of one of these, you have to have Cosmos or Chaos to back them up. If you don't see them, then everything.
Then,
put
yeah,
on
you
board
get
is gone.
cheesed out.
That
Yeah.
comes with these.
So, I mean, I don't really care about the
They're
light
weak.
one, per
They're
se.
super weak.
I think
Yep.
the light one is hilariously mediocre, especially considering light cards.
Just because you draw a card.
No, light cards aren't good together. They're good by themselves.
They're
Yeah, we
supplementary.
figured that
Yes.
one out, didn't
Yeah.
we?
Dark cards are actually good together. Like, the dark cards have a lot of good synergies
It's
with
also
each
because they
other.
have a lot more searchers than Light does.
That is
Like,
also
That is
true.
like the one light searcher aside from materia.
Yeah.
Which it's also materia.
Yeah, for sure. But
yeah, these are kind of disappointing legends.
yeah. I mean, honestly, I think maybe Dark Ice might be playable with Spiritus.
You do Necron,
Yup.
and you just spend the whole game stalling to do them 7 points of damage.
Yeah, I mean, and like you can play Neo. It's like, yeah, sure, whatever. I'll play Neo. I have Chaos. Even if you blank my Spiritus, that's fine.
Wasn't Neo an artist? N-E-Y-O.
Yes. Everyone knows I'm talking about Neo X Death.
Are you really though?
Come on.
Yes. Zeth made a good point. Like,
Yeah.
Honestly, for the CP cost, I think their effects are just fine.
Yeah,
here's what I
that's the
think
problem
you do.
though, is that they're fine.
I don't think you play them, as I've stated, unless you have Cosmos or Chaos. You play one of them, and then you pay the one to play these, and then you do the cool thing.
Yeah.
Which is fine.
And
That's
then they're
fine, yeah.
Because once they're gone, who cares? You get to trigger their effect, because it doesn't say other. No, it does say other.
Yeah.
So you don't get to trigger that effect. Who cares?
But that's
you got a
fine.
dude out on board that you needed.
Because when they
although-
kill your other Dark Forwards,
A fun thing to do with materia though is there was a water light aggro deck that saw some play in Opus 9.5. I fiddled with it a little bit. The focus is on Folka and discarding your water summons to activate a forward and a backup.
Yeah.
She grabs Opus 1 Light Onion Knight, the one that has haste.
Yeah.
The one that can return himself to hand and then play another copy of himself. I could see a water aggro combo deck that I could see it being like Rogue Tier, where you
remember
surprise
the,
your opponent at damage
The
4.
Magic Pot Onion Knight deck that John had?
Yeah.
yeah.
That was fun to watch.
No. So like the whole point of it is that she can actually for your kill turn deploy Onion Knight from your deck.
Yeah.
And then with Folka, you attack with Onion Knight. After he does damage, you discard a water summon, activate him in a backup, snap him back to hand, replay the other one, attack again, rinse, lather, repeat.
Yep.
And that can help you cheek out 3-4 points of damage for 3 CP.
Yeah.
Which I think for a deck like that would actually be pretty cool.
Certainly.
And, being able to... And also, Mono Water would be able to start seeing play again. And with Sildra, being able to find your backups and, like, your other water cards like Volca, it'd be fantastic.
I'm moving away from it.
So what's the wording of the second effect on Spiritus?
Whenever a Dark Forward other than him goes to break zone, you choose a forward and remove it from the game.
They're both others.
Okay. That's fine.
Yeah. So people are like, oh, well, her, if you kill my X Death. Well, I'm not killing X Death. I'm dealing with him.
Yeah.
I mean, it's whatever.
Bam.
Now, let's see here. Bullgeist or however you, we're going to butcher the name
Something,
of those.
yeah. Is godly looking dude.
Yep. So it's a 10 cost, but its cost is reduced by 2 for every backup of a different element you control other than multi-element. So right there implies 2 things. One, Shinto is multi-element, the 7 cost one.
Yep.
So it only reduces by 2. In addition, we're getting multi-element backups. If not this set, next set.
Yep. They are future-proofing in that line of text right there. So
Yep. Damage 3 gets brave when you attack twice in the same turn. Damage 6 when it attacks, choose a character, break it. So hear me out, right? There's a 2-cost lightning that says choose a category 13 forward. It gains haste. She's a 2-cost lightning backup.
Yep.
So imagine this coming in as a 6-drop, 4-drop 10k that can attack twice, along with Noelle, who can also attack twice, and Estinian, who can also attack twice. And all of a sudden, you have 3 forwards that are attacking 2 times each and every turn.
yeah.
And that's off of 3 forwards.
Yeah.
And
pretty good.
the damage 6 part, like if you want to get cheeky, you can break your own Rampier.
I don't know. I'm more looking at this as
I love the meme.
as like Chaos Vincent. Like on attack break something with dual attack. Really good.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, some people are saying that like it's a little like too expensive. I just like the fact that Lightning can give it haste.
I don't think it's too expensive at all, honestly. Once you get to 4 backups, it costs 2, right?
Yeah. It's
Like,
a,
that's-
yeah,
that's-
it's a 2-drop 10k, yeah.
Once you get to 3 backups, it costs 4. Like that, it's so easy.
Yeah. But the thing is like Earth's already a mandatory, and then I've already mentioned Lightning, so you just have to decide what your third color is going to splash.
Just play all the colors.
Just play all the colors, she said.
Easy.
I mean, there's a reason. Sorry, there's a reason people that I could see after this card was revealed immediately started thinking of playing Sid 2 and Onion Knights.
Yep.
Oh yeah, that's
Yep.
funny.
That is
Onion
funny.
Knights will gain the benefit, and Sid 2 will search out literally everything you need.
Mm-hmm.
That is funny.
You know, it'd be a cool backup one that says that your 1-cost backups can tap for CP of any element, and
Yep.
then Sid 2 just
Yep. Insta.
See,
Just
so
much more
It's
value.
funny. I was talking with Travis about this. The issue with the Sid 2 line is that like
it's a free 2 CP currently.
you still have to pay 2 CP for those 1-drop backups unless you have another 1-drop that can.
Or you play
Count for 'em.
or you play Ritz and you don't care
That's true.
because Ritz with Sid 2 is super strong.
Yeah,
Anywho,
that is true.
Back
I didn't
onto
even
our
think about
spoilers.
that.
Or you just play what's her face, Princess Sarah.
Yeah.
and Chaos. So we've already talked about the starters. So
Yeah,
that's
so that's it currently.
so that's all of our 13. Oh wait, actually, there are other
You might have
13
extras.
spoilers. Let me quick pull them. All right, time.
Break.
Well, we're still.
There's
on
still more?
spoilers. Yeah,
Holy crap.
no, that's fine. We'll hit ad break here.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think we cancel.
Hey, you've
and
been
hit
changing
record
the...
again.
I already changed it up.
Yeah, we're on the starters and stuff.
Yep.
So we hit this.
So we just
Byron,
have
have you seen the
we just
Doga
have a
art?
quick Yeah, it looks so dope, dude.
Oh, right.
So
I
we
want
have-
a full
we have,
art
like,
Doga so
some other
bad.
cards that we can quick go through, and like we'll be finished with them. Like they're
That is
super cool.
unironically the only
yeah,
full
wait,
art
what's
I've
the
ever
one?
wanted in this game.
They haven't been
the
added yet
only
because
Yeah.
they're fresh. They just came
That
out.
Doga, just oh my god, the
Yeah, he
art.
actually looks beastly.
Ready?
The art is so good.
I'm ready.
Yeah.
3, 2, 1. Welcome back, guys. Hope you enjoyed the ad break. I think Tyler showed his face now, so Tyler's our new ad break guy.
And it's not superimposed.
It's not superimposed.
Do we have a new ad break?
Wish it was.
Yeah. Tyler
well,
doesn't
the
know.
ad break.
Yep.
All right. So,
Cool.
some other fresh off the take. If you gentlemen are ready, we have Axstar.
Oh,
He's,
nope, they're here. Okay,
Yep.
keep going.
He's from FFBE. When he enters the field, choose a card with an EX burst in your damage zone. Trigger the EX burst effect.
47 EX burst.
Damage 3 when he enters. Search for a category FFBE character other than himself and add it to your hand. So everyone's all like, "Oh, he goes to search for Sid." I don't care about that.
And no.
It's awful.
I could care less. I could actually care less.
There are people that are all jumping for that. Like, we can finally search for our Spinal Dive Buster. It's like, shut up.
Get your garbage out of here.
Like, when are you actually going to kill someone with
Yeah.
that? Stop it.
So-
Wait, that was the
Help.
thing I have to do. Thanks for reminding me.
This was the other card that I was thinking about in the like EX burst shell with Kuja and
Philia.
yeah,
I
Philia.
mean, come on. Get Odin, dude.
Yeah.
Just
You gotta get Odin.
You got my Odin? Guess what?
Or
it pops again.
you can
Vanilla.
also hit the 7-drop that reses something and breaks something
Oh,
else.
Zero.
Yes, you can hit Zeramus with this card.
It's so bad.
It's so bad, but it's so good at the same time.
Zermus only reses due to the damage you take, though.
Yes.
So if
Yeah.
he's early, it's
If
kind of
he-
bad.
No,
But
well, but if you get to like damage 3, you can like
Yeah, then he's
you can
fine.
do your zero.
Yeah,
then.
but that's the good thing about this card.
it also makes Cloud insane.
Yeah, that's the good thing about this card. It doesn't care about where the AX burst was. It's still based on your total damage, so who cares? Oh, you hit it on damage 2? Okay, I'll reuse it on damage 5. What? What?
Yeah, that's fine.
It's crazy.
All right. So,
really quick.
what's up?
How bad is it going to feel when someone Lonnie's this card?
Oh, it's so bad.
Oh, God.
Oh, 2 CP activate my EX burst to surge. That's insane.
Oh, shit.
You mean I get to Gabby again? Bet.
Bad.
All right. Mid, remember when we talked about back attack, Noah, and how
Still
it's
not
like
proud
your
of
face?
this.
Why are you not proud of it? Look at that. It gives it hexproof from abilities. And
Okay,
it gives
so
it 1,000 powers.
That is the best thing I think that comes out of it is the hexproof. That's
This
it.
is an example of a combat trick done well
Yes.
on a creature
And-
or whatever you want to call it.
And Axstar searches for it.
Yes.
It really does.
So like it is an example
Why
of
search for Sid FFB when
We
I
can
can
search
search
for
for
mid.
mid FFB?
Yeah. But yeah, no, decent designed art. It has a really decent trick, and like
good card design
it's-
space.
It's a fine card because all of our back attack cards up to this point have been you have to pay with only wind CP, or you only have to pay with water
or
CP.
they've just
No
been
synergy.
hilariously mediocre. Like actually just vanilla.
Scarmolion.
God, it just. I really hope I've said this once. I'll say it 1,000 times. I want a deck that can allow me to just play back attack.
Sorry.
I would love to be able to play shit on my opponent's turn and make them deal with it then and there or else I get free reign on my turn for a bit.
Okay. But overall, I really liked this card when
This
they released
is
it.
an example of a good and like well designed back attack card.
Yep.
4-drop 7K.
Yeah. I mean, stat wise, it's fine. You're more playing
We
it.
want the hexproof.
Yeah, you want the 1K hexproof. Like that's a crazy combat trick.
Pay for. You can't target him.
Yeah.
So
Timing.
Nice Diabolos, idiot.
yeah. What's funny is like they tried to make the 6 cost you stolen not targetable with Diabolos, but no one's playing Diabolos because turn 1, turn 3 is too fast right now.
Yeah.
So all the decks that are trying to play Diabolos have been steamrolled, and they've had to adjust playing Alexander.
Yeah.
Rough. So I'm glad that they're making more FFT cards. First of all, it mentions about Marak, which when Marak deals damage to a forward, he'll be able to do 1,000. Then there's no Maraks yet.
Yeah. Which means we're getting one.
We're
in the
getting
set.
one in this set.
Yes.
So damage 3, put it in the break zone. Choose up to 3 forwards, deal them 4,000 damage. Realize how it doesn't say active.
Yeah.
That's
so
actually really good for
remember
lightning.
my Fire Lightning stall deck that
Yep.
struggled with like its early backups killing stuff because I got to damage 3 and I really wasn't able to turn it around. That's really good.
Yeah,
that
that's
helps clean up a lot of
extremely good.
stuff.
I mean,
really
you could-
like this backup.
It's
You can-
quote unquote a 4K board sweep.
You
You
can
do have to
also
choose, but-
you can also send this back to your board too after you break it, which is neat.
Yeah.
Or puck it.
Yeah.
Well, Puck only
Well,
works
no,
for
no.
forwards.
Puck,
Oh, does
Puck
he?
is
Never
forward.
mind.
Yeah.
Yep.
Puck is only forwards. That's really nice though.
All right, so Coral.
Coral.
When
I was gonna get
So
a brain
fir-
transplant.
so first
then
of
I
all-
changed my mind.
first of
I
all,
changed my mind. Coral.
FFTA, so take note on that.
Yep.
When Coral enters the field, choose a forward, either dull it or freeze it. Damage 3, it's also a 7K forward. So, first off, I do predict Fire Ice FFTA coming back.
Yeah.
Because we haven't seen Remedi yet. We have Sid Randall,
Yeah.
which stops auto abilities, by the
Randall.
way. We still haven't seen Remedi yet, and in addition, we still have access to Lednar. We
Yeah.
still have access to Redcap. We have access to this now. And there is other ice cards in FFTA, like Babas, that I do see Fire Ice FFTA being a thing. As to how strong of a thing it's going to be, don't know. But in terms of tempo, a one-drop monster that does a thing, it's fine.
And eventually becomes a 7K.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
Yeah,
I
it's-
would say
it's
that's
perfectly fine.
that's good monster design.
As of currently, there's not really a lot of FFTA forwards that are. I mean, you have the backup Moot, but people play around the Opus 10 one and the 3-cost one. I mean, if Remedi's insane, Moot's going to be super good, especially if Remedi's a backup.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, no, you don't want to play that Remedi. People don't play from. People don't really play Endure Effect all that well
Yeah.
because if it says other than from his or her hand, like it doesn't stop Rampier like you
No,
want
it
it to.
doesn't.
And a lot of the resurrection effects usually just pop it to their hand in the first place, and then they just play it from there.
Yeah. Or it's something like Porum where it's like, okay, I don't care. Sure.
Yeah, we have Black Mage also, so like I do predict like Fire Ice FFTA. Like you have the 2-cost backups, you have Marsh, and you're also playing the Uke and the
Fencer's kind of okay.
no, you skip
I
her.
mean, you're playing Fire Ice and you don't have many options. Fencer's kind of okay.
You're playing a watered down Genesis. That's
Yeah.
what you're doing there.
Yeah.
And you don't really want to have to take your deck slots for watered down cards.
Exactly.
Now, I mean, I say this, but then we have Samurais.
That's fair, but there's also something to be said. It doesn't particularly matter how good a card is on its own, but how good the card is when you consider it within its own constraints and its own packages.
Yeah.
So the cards like that are good in Samurai are good because the other Samurai cards make them good, not because they're good on their own.
Right. So, overall, I do think that Fire Ice FFTA is going to be a thing, especially if, like, Remedi finds Moot, and Moot can find Remedi, and they're both backups. I think that'd be super cool. Because you can go Remedi into Moot into Sid, and you already have 3 characters for Marsh,
Yeah.
and then you just pay 3 for Marsh. And then if Ritz is your only win card, you can find it off of Lilty.
Yep.
And then Ritz comes out, and then you just go to town.
Yep, I like it.
Thoughts?
Yeah. It's a cool card.
You guys kind of said just about everything I can think of
Yeah.
for this card currently.
All right.
I haven't seen it in play, so I can't give too much on it.
Yep.
I
Believe
really
that's
want to play
everything.
this mid, so you guys are probably going to see me splash like a 1 or 2
XYZ.
off.
Yeah, it protects your chicories.
It does. That is relevant.
Protects the one that I care about protecting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is
Be
just
decent.
whatever one they target, honestly.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
And then they have to attempt to try and kill another one. I don't care.
Yep.
I don't give a fuck about your fucking cards in your hand. All right.
Hi, and welcome to the ads. This week we are brought to you by Cards Custom Builds. Are you into cosplay? Are you looking to get into cosplay? In the future, do you want to show up at your favorite event dressed up as your favorite character? Well, then Card Custom Builds is here to help. Cards Custom Builds creates everything from props and trinkets and weaponries all the way up to full costumes. I've seen some of the costumes that they made. They are all fantastic. They're really good stuff. If you would like to get some awesome things for your cosplay or just cool stuff to have around, if you want to throw a Halloween party at the end of the year and be like the talk of your Halloween party, please go check out Cards Custom Builds over at Facebook and tell them about TCG University. Say that we sent you and you'll get 5% off your entire order. Please do this. They do a bunch of things over there. Clay is making a lot of really cool stuff. He makes coasters too. If you want to go get coasters, I think he's selling them on Etsy and on Facebook. So please, if you want to get some cool stuff for your cosplay or for anything, go check out Cards Custom Builds and tell them that we sent you. This week, we are also brought to you by Dex Protections. Dex Protections is in a never-ending pursuit to create the highest quality storage and protection accessories. Their designs and innovation come from die-hard gamers and collectors just like you, so you know that what they make is stuff that you will want to buy, because they are also making stuff that they would want to buy. They are on a never-ending pursuit to create the best product, and that is why they are the leader in the industry in creating accessories for your deck products. Please, if you would like to go get some new stuff for when we're finally able to go out into public and go to tournaments and stuff, go to Deck Protections, and there'll be a link down in the description down below for that. Please go check them out. We're also brought to you this week by Red Ride Games. They are a Canada-based online seller of things like Universes, MTG, and Pokemon. They're friends of the show. We like them a whole lot. Please, 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 please go to redridegames.ca and check out all their singles there. And when you check out, use creator code TCGU to help support the show and help support them. It would be greatly appreciated. We like them a whole lot, and we would love it if you would use them to buy some singles for any upcoming tournaments that you might have towards the end of the year. Thank you. And we'll get back to the show.
All right. Moving on. Next topic. We have.
All right, boys, where we drop it?
All right, boys.
So I've already dated this video. First off,
We're orbital shock troopers. I can't ever say that right.
I was gonna say
ODST.
Drop the
base.
Drop
So-
the base now.
wow, we've really dated this video.
Yeah.
So
I
anywho,
love doing that.
I've brought this topic up because Final Fantasy has been a game of ETBs, right? I understand that Magic's been that, but Magic also has a lot of really good statics.
All right, so I want you to think about it and consider the lead designer for this game
Came from Magic.
is a former professional Magic the Gathering player with a lot of accolades. So,
Wait, what?
so the lead designer for card design and FFTCG
Was big into Magic.
is Shota Yasuoka,
Okay.
who was
Say
a
that 5 times fast.
he was a very good professional Magic player. Huh? Yeah, it's Yasuoka.
No, he's talking
Oh,
about...
yeah, Noah.
No, I wanted to put base because that's the wrong way to spell it.
But so yeah, he was a very good Magic the Gathering player, and I believe he was sponsored by Haruya for the longest time when he was a professional Magic player.
Is
and,
that like a team or something? Or?
yes, it is Japan's biggest hobby shop, right?
Yes.
Yeah, it's Japan's biggest hobby shop. They have their own sleeve brand, stuff like that.
That's sweet.
Yeah, and they're very nice sleeves
So
too, by
it's
the
a
way.
it's a big deal.
Tyler, get to work.
Wow.
But yeah, and now he's the lead designer for FFTCG.
That's really cool.
So, we talked about mid, and like I kind of went around thinking about this topic because usually the thing that will happen is people are like, I draw my cards and like, cool, I'm just going to get my ETB out now. So that way I can proc the ETB, right? The problem that comes with that is people can get really gung-ho about barfing all their ETBs out because, well, kill that guy, or I want to draw my cards now, or I need to search for my other card now. Like, you know, because that's what ETBs do to you, is like, you want what you want when you want it. And once you get used to playing them and you play a lot of decks that inherently have them, you get into that I want what I want when I want mentality of, well, I need to get this ETB out now so that way I can get its effect.
I mean,
now.
It also doesn't help that a lot of decks are playing ETBs.
So, my only problem with this topic is I feel like it's just a game skill thing compared to like a habit thing. Because if you're playing the game properly, you should be looking at all of your lines, laser focused, and thinking, when do I need to play this card? When should I be playing this card? Versus when should I be playing other things? Instead of just, oh man, I want my value now, I need to play this now. Because everything has a purpose, and everything in card games, for the most part, situational. You have to have situational awareness to know when you need to play things and when you don't need to play things.
Yeah, like I'm not going to slam Rain down turn 1 and go, hey, haste.
Yeah.
I'm going to do it after I put like 5 dudes on board and then I play a 6th one.
And that's what I'm saying is it's just like any of these like popular Warzone games that are out now, is that if you drop yourself too early, you aren't able to actually like fully attain your objective of whatever that is, and then you lose.
Usually the ones that drop early die early.
And usually it's because like you see your opponent, they're doing all this cool stuff and they're doing all their things, and you also want to do cool stuff and you want to do cool things too, because that's how card games work.
Yeah.
Right? But the thing with like, you know, when you think about your big ETBs like Shantoto or other things like Fina or your searchers and things like that, like the first thought is, oh, well, I want to play my searchers right away so that way I can search out my other cards. Where the difference between me discarding a card and playing Nordstallen versus 2 cards and playing Nordstallen,
big difference.
Yeah, especially
difference.
Especially if my deck doesn't have recursion.
Yes.
Because that's where the problem comes in with ETBs, is that if my deck doesn't have cards like Kusith or Apururu or just Earth in general, then I'm getting rid of certain cards and I'm kind of crossing my fingers on I'm going to naturally find these cards later in the game.
True.
But the problem that comes with that is, yes, there are times that, like, for some decks, Nordstallen turn 1 is fine.
Yeah.
Like, because you want to be able to play your 3-cost cards, like, naturally.
Yeah. Like
as opposed to having
you
to
need to
pay 2
find
cards.
your stuff.
Yeah. And Nordstallen helps facilitate that. What Mono Lightning has taught me is it's cool to go, like, Sid into, like, Louiswa if I have it, and then wait to play Alphinaud or Alice, whichever one I want to play, off of backups.
Yeah.
Because the difference between paying a card and then the 2 backups versus paying 2 cards and then playing the card makes a big difference.
So as I was saying with like that is like, I think yet again it's like situational and like matchup based. So like if you know your opponent's, like you see they're playing an aggro deck, okay, I need to get this down so I can live, because if I live, I outscale them anyways and they lose because they're playing an aggro deck. They don't have great scaling.
Yep, stuff like Zidane Haste.
Yeah.
Or where they play the 2-cost Tifa or other things of that sort.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, so it's like, it's knowing matchups and knowing when to do something versus when not to do something. So what I would like to call that is just strategic dropping versus dropping based on timing.
Or even on that, like, dropping based on, like, feeling.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I can feel like this is a good play, but is it a good play?
Yeah.
Like, I can look down in my, my heart of hearts and be like, yeah, this builds me, like, 3 backups, but I die because my opponent realized I spent that turn building back row.
Yeah.
And then I go from damage 1 to damage 4, and
I'm in an awful position.
Nope,
because
you're still
of it.
alive. Honestly, my mentality is not the best with that. If I'm not at damage 5, I'm pretty much like, I got another turn on me.
So, God, another awkward thing is like you really have to think about that in tournaments, because in tournaments the way tie breaks work, it's based off of how much damage you took.
Yep.
And it's like I honestly hate that system. I think that system is completely awful.
See, I honestly really like it. The reason I like it is that you have to like it's like you're almost in like a fighting game, right?
Yeah.
Is that when you're in survival round in a fighting game, like you have to conserve as much of your life total as you possibly can, because the longer your health bar is, the more matches you're able to get in, and that increases your score. It's the same concept here. Is like a true matter of skill is being able to manage, like, and torso twist my damage total. So like if I only take 3 points of damage in this match, and then I go to my next match, I take no points, that's fantastic. Because if I get into a match that I take 6 points of damage, then my other 2 matches help kind of bubble that, right? Yeah. But if I play every match on, I'm just going to go to 6 points, that's what's going to keep me on the bubble and keep me from getting into top.
I mean, so
not
like,
if you win every single match.
I guess at that point it's just a risk reward thing. Though,
well,
too.
I mean, my other problem with that is like they keep printing all of these good like damage X cards,
Yeah.
And having a system like that in place that actively discourages you from taking damage. Otherwise, your tiebreakers can be infinitely worse.
But then you have to decide when you're going to drop now, don't you?
I mean, that is true.
Do you ride the plane a little bit longer to get that legendary drop dead center of the map, or are you going to pansy out of the first 5 seconds?
But
It's your choice.
It's just like, I think playing many traditional card games, and it's like, I think that your system should be based off of your actual tiebreakers, not something like damage.
Mm-hmm.
Which that's the only thing I don't like about it, is like if I get into the point where I'm being bubbled, I should not be bubbled because someone randomly played against like less aggro decks than I did or something along those lines. Because if I'm playing against an aggro deck as like a control deck, I'm taking a bunch of damage. There's nothing I can do to stop that. But if I play against a bunch of control decks, I'm probably not going to be taking much damage if I win the game.
But then it comes down to determining on when are they dropping.
That is also true.
There's just a lot of factors in it.
Yeah.
Hence why I bring it up, is that like when it comes to me developing as a player, it's those moment-to-moment decisions that have, like Travis mentioned, that long-term impact on my lines. Because I can totally trash a line because I decided to just go back row.
Yeah.
And while naturally, yes, for some decks, I want to race to 5 backups.
I want to race to 3.
But the problem there is that, like, I've learned with Mono Lightning is that it's fine for me to, like, Odin 1 or 2 things early on if it means that I'm able to get a couple of points in. Because Mono Lightning is one of those decks that, yeah, like, you're going to get to damage 5 before you actually, like, do something in the game.
I mean, I don't think this needs to be said, but, like, obviously board control and hand control are the most important things in the game. So if you have control over those 2 things, you need to know when to not hard commit and when to commit on something. So, like, let's say your opponent plays something and you're like, well, I can remove this or I could not. You need to, like, think, what happens if I don't remove this? What happens if I do remove this? Like, are they going to snowball a lead off of this if I don't remove it? Or am I going to snowball a lead if I choose not to remove this and play a forward that's outclassing their forward, right?
So it's just more like trying to decipher what your opponent's trying to play, right?
Yeah.
Like
Yes.
as quick as least possible.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, Byron, Noah, any thoughts?
I mean, I said my small piece. You guys are great at summing this up way more than me. I think if I were to put it as a numbers game and not just like based on skill or when you feel it, I'd say probably around turn 3 is when you really want to, like, your third turn or like 3 backups is when you really want to start considering dropping your ETBs. Just because by that point you're pretty much. I always think 3 backups.
You're paying
is where
off
you're
backups.
established.
Yeah.
That's where that's the midpoint of the game where like you should be able to,
Or you're desperately scavenging for your backups.
where you should be able to play things and kind of feel okay if your opponent reacts to them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I think this was good.
Thanks, Byron. Just kidding.
Got you.
I mean, that's like the reason
through
why
them all.
that's the reason why I like fire backups as much as I do, is that I'm able to build back row and it kills something,
Yes.
right? So that's why VV and Ace are so good.
VV, Ace, Ninja,
Cloud.
Hey, I'm gonna play this Ninja and swing my dude. I'm gonna play this Ace on top of it. Kill it.
Oh, so before we move on to our post show, fun fact: there's the 1-drop ninja that says any damage it does is doubled instead. If you play the ninja that lets him 5k something, how would you like a 1-drop that 10k's a forward
Yeah.
for 1 win CP? Well, 1 win CP and then 2 fire.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think that's hilarious.
That is pretty funny. The way that interacts with fight effects is also really cool.
Fight.
Yep. Titan? 14k?
Shka. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
So, post show, I remember that we were kind of talking about
We'll
something.
get into. Sorry, I
Go
gotta
ahead.
give the closer as usual.
No, go ahead, bud.
Post show. I was kidding. Thanks guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Come join us on the post show if you're currently watching. If not, hey, sign up so you can watch this post show.
Yeah, we hope you all enjoyed.
Later, homies.
Yeah.
Peace.
All right, so
Post show.
there's some that I remember, like you and I were talking, Byron, and we said we were talking about it more during post show because we were talking about things getting Ratsu'd, and then you two having fun? with it?
Defensive.
He's trying to touch me.
Nope.
Booger face.
False allegations.
Like we were talking about things getting Ratsu'd, and then like we were talking about like static effects, and we were gonna talk about there was a certain thing we were talking about during post show. If it comes to me, I'll probably put it down
Was
later.
it about Phil Thanos?
Yeah, we were talking about Phil Thanos and how like you target like his auto ability, but not
Yeah.
like him, and like how that also like takes care of X Death also.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's another thing too is like with the new materia and Spiritus. My other problem with them is that also has 2 windows to be Ratsu'd.
Yup.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, technically it's 3.
The more windows,
Because
the worse it is.
Because it has the 3rd line of text.
Yep.
So they go, cool, I'm gonna play it. All right, cool, whatever. I'm gonna pay 6 and find Neo. No, you're not.
Yep.
And then they're gonna want to get a 5-minute rules debate with you,
Yep.
and they're wrong.
Yep.
Because they'll think you passed up the first time, and they're like, "Well, I guess you can't do it now." Ha ha ha.
No,
sucker.
I can.
Pay,
That's not how that
pay your
works.
cards.
Oh.
Pay costs first.
Do you think
That's the best time to do it.
that people are gonna start playing? Was it Scylla or what's the new card? The 8 CP fire forward.
Cilia?
Are-
Philia.
Philia.
Is
Oh,
Philia?
absolutely.
Yeah.
Do you think they're gonna play it over
He's-
final
he's-
Aeon?
Over Braskas? I'd play both.
Yeah.
Because
Play
the-
both.
So here's the thing: is like the reason Braskas Final Aeon isn't seeing a lot of play right now is because Veritas is starting to float back into the meta, and B, why am I committing 7 CP to your 4 forwards that are gonna say he loses power, and then I shoot him? Yeah, you get 2 instances of it, but I still have 2 forwards. And the problem with me overcommitting so much to play Braska, and then it just gets Fanfrit,
Yeah.
and then I attack with my 3 forwards. Like, because right now, Yuna in mid is so insane for how much it screws your board up. Because you-
Unimids. Oh, so
you
good.
you go Thancred mid Sid, and you go to combat, you party attack Thancred with Yuna or any lightning forward,
break.
and you attack. You break an active forward, you 8k another active forward, and then you have another forward lose 8 power. For a party attack, a single party attack kills 3 forwards. By the way, draw a card
Yep.
because of Andorra. So the water lightning.
That's how my deck
So
went.
like the water lightning party variants that are walking around right now, they're drawing cards, they're killing dudes. Now, Amaterasu keeps them in check because they're very like the best way to describe it is that it's walking on a razor's edge.
It definitely is.
Right? Is that like if you're able to like get through the Amaterasus and like figure out the best way to approach it, you're able to do
You know how
fantastic
you get around
deck.
the Amaterasus? You play Summoner.
Yeah, no,
That's how I do it.
they've
I
technic
make sure
decks
I
of
play
play
technical
them at
summoners. What's
I
that?
always
They
some
play
Summoner.
them at 3, and actually that's the deck that I'm switching my water.
I play my
It's a water
mono
lightning.
water. I'm switching my mono water to that.
Well, no, like the best part about Water Lightning
That's
Party
super
is
fun.
that
It looks fun. That's why I
and
wanted to play
not
it.
only that, there's so many variants. Like there's no like air quotes right way to do it. Like
Mine.
You have a lot of
weird.
wiggle room with the backups too. Like you can
yeah.
definitely like switch backups with it.
some do Alchemist, some do Summoner. Like he mentioned, if you know Ratsus are really relevant in your meta.
It's not even just for Ratsus. It's for anything that could potentially just disrupt my game plan when I don't want it
Ifrits.
disrupted. Yeah. I'll be like, honestly, sometimes, because I played Luna Freya in my version, because like I just think being able to Famfrit my Thancred away and then pop Luna Freya and bring her back is really funny.
True.
So like
You also have Oracle of Light now, so like
Yeah,
it's
like-
even more relevant.
Oh man, that's gonna be fun.
Oh yeah, and it's so like there's water lightning for that regard, and
If it's too big of a guy, Firion will take care of it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Now Furion's better for the 3-color party attack list because you play Bart's in it, and that just gives you Vaughn, which is a 1 cost that activates backups.
Yeah, that's fair.
And you also are able to have the wiggle room to play No. So when you activate Furion 4 times and you shotgun their board away with just Furion, it's insane.
Yeah.
It's so dumb.
Yep.
Because Furion just becomes the little machine gun that just kind of does one of these.
Yeah.
And like you're still activating all your backups because of No. And like if Furion's not your target, which I mean if you're already ahead, then you basically refund your forward costs, and the deck just chugs. But once it sees one Exodus, you die, because Exodus you name number 2 or you name 1 and your board's gone. Like it is.
And
Wasted.
Exodus is so strong.
In fact,
I don't know, the way I played it, Exodus probably only ever hits one person on my side.
the other problem is Shadow Lord's actually coming back, kind of like when Shadow Lord was seeing play in like Opus 10, because like Golbez came back a little bit, along with like Waff having a lot of 2-drops like Hound and Lan and Seraphine and stuff like that. Shadow Lord's coming back, which means that it wipes all of Bart's 1-drop thugs, and then Bart's goes to die in a fire because he takes 16k damage because 8 1-drop forwards went to the break zone,
Yep.
and Bart's gets completely sharded on. So
I love Shadow Lord. Shadow Lord's a cool card.
Shadow Lord is a very tech card. If you're able to recognize that there's a lot of like 1-2 cost dudes in your format, he's fine. And Star Sybil searches for him.
True. That is very true.
Oh, yeah.
Also plays him.
Yeah.
Yep.
This is why I've taken to build my decks around multiple numbers if need be.
Yeah.
Especially, like, 4 has been the magic number. 3 is slowly kind of getting there a bit sometimes.
3's actually kind of falling off the radar a little
Is
bit
it?
because of Odin, especially since Mono Lightning still has a presence.
Yeah.
And
I don't know. I still play 3 costs just because, like, they get you what you need at the time. And maybe that's just the way I build and play my decks. I guess at this point, because the current deck I'm playing is the Firewater Knights, everything that's 3 costs is technically 5. So
True.
it doesn't bug me.
Yeah.
all right, well, I had a blast tonight, gentlemen.
I do tend to agree.
I love hearing.
Tend to agree?
Yeah. I do.
Fucking right.
I love hearing you guys talk.
Aw, well, thank you.
Thank you.
I think we just should start paying you to listen. You're like a great therapist.
I try.
I try.
Like, why do guys do podcasts? Why do girls do OnlyFans? We need a therapist or something.
Oh my god.
I'm
Tell
gonna
me
head
all
out.
your problems.
So when I was a wee lad, my dad left for milk and never came back. I think he's been chasing it for about 22 years now.
I'm sure he'll come back. Don't worry. Just
Don't
keep
worry.
waiting.
you're off thinking like, doodling milk ran away? Question mark? But yeah, all
Is
right.
milk sour?
Is milk sour?
What kind of milk?
All right. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed.
Yep.